Alright guys, Max from Suspension Engineering. I just wanted to go over this kit that we've been working on for a couple years. A lot of people were kind of curious why we did a bolt-on high clearance notch, why we did the coilover crossbar, and then it kind of made sense that that bolted to that high clearance notch. And finally, now that we've kind of gotten all of our production things figured out and all of our hardware and all that stuff, this is our bolt-on 4-link kit for the 99 to 06 Silverado platform. We put a lot of time and effort into this, making it to where not only will it bolt on fairly simply, but also it has a lot of really good geometry for whether you want to play around in the street, or if you're trying to get a drag radial to hook at the track, or if you're running a slick and you need it to be able to slip a little bit. A lot of instant center options, a lot of anti-squat options for you. It's a super versatile kit, and quite literally everything will bolt on except for the coilover bracket. Even if you look at the coilover mounts on the axle, we've made small provisions so that it locates off of the factory brake line anchor point on the housing. So you lock that in place, then you find your center, you make this side match, everything else is done. It lines up nicely. We know that that angle works with this link kit in a pretty good range of pinion angles, and it really takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. So we designed this kit so that it's going to go in your factory leaf spring position. Then it's going to locate off of a bunch of key holes and different things on the factory frame, making it to where all the geometry we designed this kit with are going to be locked in from truck to truck. It's really hard to mess up the install, and really easy to make it to where you have a really well-functioning link kit that performs well in just about every application. We've got it set up to where it utilizes the factory leaf spring perches on the axle to locate. You can't really twist anything out of whack. All of your link positions are going to be exactly the same as the way we designed it. We have it to where you can add on to it later with a sway bar system that we're going to be coming out with. These polyurethane bushings are what are going to be coming with the kit right out the gate, and that's so that it has really nice street manners. It's not creaking and popping, but if you're going for a more performance application, we are going to be offering a rod end conversion for all of that. All of this stuff works together. Our high clearance notch gives you all the provisions to bolt the coilover crossbar right in. That high clearance notch also gives you the provisions to bolt the panhard bar in, which just makes everything work together pretty seamlessly. The other thing that you can do is, even if you want to weld on your brackets to the housing, that way it's as strong as it can possibly be, it's very simple. You just knock off the powder coat, locate everything using the same bolt-on platform, grabbing the factory leaf spring perch on the axle, burn that on there, make sure everything's nice and straight, and then you're off to the races. It's a very thought out kit. Everything is intended to make the install easy and take out a lot of the guesswork. We've even made small brackets to relocate the brake lines so that it can all be secured. You're not just zip tying things up in different spots of the truck. We've made it to where your coilover crossbar is adjustable for slight variances in the frame. You can even kind of see it in this video that this truck, it's from 2000. It's been through a handful of different owners, and it's been chopped up and welded back together a handful of times. So we know that not every truck is the same, and we made it as versatile as possible so that everybody can utilize this kit and have as easy of an install as possible. So one of the things that makes this kit pretty different is that we actually put a lot of time into designing all the link geometry. So you have a really wide range of anti-squat values. You can put all the power pretty close to you know, where your transmission's at, but your instant centers end up being in a pretty good spot with this setup. You can get really good anti-squat values without throwing a whole bunch of bottom bar angle at it, which sometimes can be a little bit tricky. But you know, we can go all the way from having a anti-squat value of, you know, minus 26%, almost 27%, which would just take all the weight off of the tire. to, you know, really throwing a bunch of anti-squat at it to make a tire hook for, you know, different radial scenarios and things where you're trying to get a bunch of bite out of the rear tire. And I believe the highest I can get on this particular setup for a short bed standard cab truck is somewhere around 127% anti-squat. So you can really slam the tire pretty hard. And there's a lot of different settings in like kind of a very neutral and good handling scenario. So anywhere from 70 to 90% anti-squat with really minimal bottom bar angle. So you can get everything to work really nicely.